What's going on? It's your boy CJ Goodfellow back with the Boxing Clinic. Seeing somebody bring up an interesting question. I'm just going to take it. This was the prime Sergio Martinez at 160. 2010 Sergio Martinez. I guess versus the best version of Gennady Golovkin. And I guess the best version of Gennady Golovkin when he first came over to America and really peaked, maybe versus Lemieux. I think he might have been at his all-time, his hype might have been at his all-time high. I think he's starting to come down because he's fighting a good competition now. And I thought this would be a good matchup. Golovkin was having some promotional issues and holding that WBO hostage. Max Kellerman used to talk about him all the time on HBO telecast. And we was, a lot of guys was wondering who this guy was. And a lot of people knew who he was. Some of my guys put me up on game. I just didn't think he was all of that. Still don't think he all of that today. I was a big Sergio Martinez fan, for sure. And by the time Golovkin came over and wanted to fight Sergio Martinez, he was broken up. He was done. I knew he was done after the Julio Cesar Chavez fight, when that man probably outweighed him by 50 pounds. And, took his prime in one night. Came back versus Martin Murray in the rain in in his hometown, home country in Argentina. And, he wasn't the same, homie. He wasn't the same no more. To quote my boy, Black Fight Fan TV, he wasn't the same no more, homie. So, Golovkin came over when he was handicapped on one leg and wanted to fight him. Oh, I want to fight him. All of a sudden, he just wanted to fight him, come out of nowhere. But what's so funny about it is when he was knocking people out and beating Kelly Pavlik to the pulp and knocking guys out, wasn't nobody calling him out until he got injured versus Chavez Jr. fight. Then everybody started calling him out. Then Cotto wanted to jump up and be brave. Then Golovkin wanted to be brave. But at the end of the day, he took a more lucrative fight in Cotto for him. And he tried to wear a knee brace. Cotto wouldn't let him, so it was over with for him. He knew it was done. That's why he wanted to fight Golovkin at the point. If Golovkin would have came over while he was at his peak after the Kelly Pavlik fight, when he was the real true middleweight champion, how that fight would have been. It would have been tough to call. Martinez had good coordination, but he wasn't a technician. Because he started boxing late, but he was well coordinated though. Hands down, he would, shoot the jab, good speed, good foot movement. He knew how to use the ring. And I think he could have did some things that Danny Jacobs did. What Danny Jacobs did was he was able to improvise and use the jab and stop, Golovkin's foot movement from cutting the ring off. He did a very good job improvising, going right to left, putting the stick out there in Golovkin's face, maybe doubling and keeping him off balance and not being able to close the distance. And Canelo did a lot of the same things as well with his foot movement. And Canelo's footwork isn't nowhere near as good as Danny Jacobs and Sergio Martinez. He was able to flash the jab, keep him off balance, keep him guessing, make him tentative because he was able to counter him. And in my opinion, I think Sergio Martinez is a more explosive puncher than Canelo Alvarez. That's just my opinion. Even coming up from 54, I thought he was a bigger puncher. 160, Canelo got to grow into that, but I still think he's a bigger puncher. And he was precise, he was accurate. That's one thing, people don't give Sergio Martinez credit for. He was very accurate, very athletic, good head movement. And I remember Triple G fought a guy that was just like a poor man's version of him when he came on the United States, which was Proska, and he handled him, and everybody was like, ooh, but Proska, he wasn't the fighter that Sergio Martinez was. Sergio Martinez was cut from a different cloth. But one thing Golovkin, had going for him was down the stretch of fights, even though Martinez was a very gifted athlete when it comes to conditioning, Golovkin's brute strength and brute power might have took a toll on Sergio Martinez. I can see him going to the body a few times, hurt Martinez. We often see Martinez on the floor hurt, but he would have to walk through some fire. His chin would have been definitely tested by Martinez, and he would have been definitely probably frustrated and flustered by Martinez's movement early on, by him sticking the jab and changing ranges and fighting like a true champion. And this would have been definitely right now, if we can get that Martinez back, I think Martinez would probably be 1 or 2 in this middleweight division, and that would be determined if he beat Gennady Golovkin. I would like his chances versus Danny Jacobs. I would like his chances versus Canelo. I would probably like his chances versus Jamal Charlo, David Lemieux for sure, Billy Joe Saunders, all of these guys except for Golovkin. It just made me think to give you a position where I'm talking from. That's how gifted he was, when he beat up Kelly Pavlik, I think I was as shocked as anybody. This guy had got robbed versus Paul Williams the first time, came back, knocked him out, and we thought it was a blip instead of a trend. And, he came back versus Kelly Pavlik and beat one of the bigger middleweights down. That was bigger and physically stronger than Gennady Golovkin. And Kelly Pavlik was known for dog-walking guys in the gym. Especially, they called him the Ghost. They called him the Ghost because he was that good, But Martinez handled him. I think he was shocked that night. I was shocked that night. And could he pitch a gym like that versus Gennady Golovkin? Absolutely. It could have been that type of fight. But I think it would have been a very, very tough, hard-fought fight for both gentlemen. I think, the true winner would have been the fans here. I think Martinez's speed would have been the difference, on early, foot movement. But I think eventually, Triple G would have got to him. I'm going to just keep it real. I think the jab, I think the body work, I think him coming on late, I think he would have got the stoppage versus Martinez. Martinez just wasn't that big. And neither is Golovkin, but he's strong. He's strong like a bigger guy. And I think he eventually would have caught up to Sergio Martinez. And I think once, Golovkin is the type of guy that get you hurt, I think potentially he going to dispose of you and get you out of there. And that's the type of killer that he is. Once he smell blood and see you injured or see you hurt, that killer going to get you. A lot of you guys was probably expecting me to come on here and pick Martinez, and that's my guy. But I put my biases aside. And a lot of people say, "Oh, you a Golovkin hater?" I'm not a Golovkin hater. I give him credit where credit is due. I say he's the one or two in the world that cutting the ring off with Earl Spence. Whoever you want to put first, I won't argue with you. But I give him his credit. I say he's a very skilled boxer. A lot of people looking at him as a brawler. I see him do some tactical things and his skills is refined more than people know. But I like Golovkin late round knockout. Yeah.